INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Welcome to How You Doin, a health and wellness podcast from INCRadio New York Satellite Studio. Whether you're on the go or taking a minute to breathe, we've got real tips, good conversations, and weekly check-ins to help you live well without losing your city pace. Are you ready? Let's get to it.
Welcome to How You Doing, brought to you by INCRadio New York Satellite Studio. And today we are talking about health and wellness in real practical ways that fit into your everyday life. And today's big idea is walking with a purpose. So how are you doing, guys, there today in Boston, Massachusetts, Sister Mika and Sister Abby?
Hi, Brother Lance. Hi, everyone. I am here with Sister Mika. We're together. Yes, we are in Boston, and we just participated in the Susan G. Komen More Than Pink Walk, and it's a lovely New England day.
Yes, it is a very nice day today. And before we do get started with our main topic and in our main show, we would like to make sure that our YouTube like, comment, fill in the chat with your comments and greetings, and make sure you mention your name and your local congregation for this week so that we can read them off and shout out any birthday greetings if you do have any other greetings that you may have. But before we get started, let's go to Where You At. We attack if you can play the bumper. Where You At? So
Brother.
I guess it's not playing the bumper. Where you at? So we're in your local congregation games. So the rules is we will count each person again from your local and extension or GWS that would comment and answer the questions or give a shout out. Don't forget to include again your name and local congregation, and no more hashtag or spamming. Again, the local with the most entry will win, and you'll still have the time. And the first local congregation to win will win the traveling trophy, which will be announced in the next few weeks. So we'll make sure to represent well. And again, the trophy is still being made, but I have partially a part of the trophy actually here. it's kind of partially made. So for those who are listening and watching, this the top part. The bottom part is still kind of getting produced.
Is that the trophy, Brother Lance?
Yeah. So this little Empire State.
Is it complete?
Partially. The top part. So. The bottom part is still
okay.
getting printed, so it's almost there.
This trophy, Brother Lance.
It takes a while.
That's just the top part, no?
Yeah. So the bottom part I'll be printing today. So we got busy in the last few weeks since there's many things happening. So for our listeners and live viewers, please don't forget to comment. But let's go to our main topic, which is the role and support in health and wellness. So again, walking with a purpose is our main topic today. And again, welcome back to How You Doing, your weekly dose of health and wellness and community. And today we're going to talk about walking with a purpose. In terms of breast cancer stat and information, there is 1 in 8 women that will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime. And early detection improves survival. How to early detect? That's what we're about to find out. And over 4 million survivors all over in the U.S. So how are we participating there, Sister Abby? What is it like to be part of More Than the Pink Walk that is happening in the Boston area? And what stands out to you the most?
So just to kind of touch a little bit about early detection. So for women, when you turn in your 40s, that's when you would start your screening mammogram. So in Connecticut or when in my area, when like you start in the late 30s, they start radiology starts sending you flyers, reminders. You talk to your primary care provider, your OBGYN, to start the conversation about early detection, which is just getting your screening mammogram. Just get a baseline. I know you probably may hear some stories about when you get mammograms, but it's one tool to just see what's going on, and then from there, um, you'll just get your annual or your yearly checkup. Also, what people promote um, is self exam. You know what your body feels like, what it looks like. So if anything out of the ordinary changes, you can talk to your healthcare provider to get any more imaging, any more workup if you have concerns. And it's not only women that has breast cancer. Men can also get breast cancer. So not only women should do self exams. Also, men should know what their body looks like, feels like, so that any abnormalities you can also discuss with your primary care provider. But
Yeah.
Thanks.
So
Now, well, what if you have a member that that has had like breast cancer or any type of cancer? Does that move up the date of your screening, like mammogram?
it depends. Sometimes if you have a strong family history, you do have you can get screened earlier or get early a mammogram. Also, they can also test for genes. There's the BRCA gene that has makes you a more susceptible to developing breast cancer. So if you have that strong family history with like your aunts, mom, grandparents, or even males, you can get tested for certain genes if you have a high uh, disposition to getting breast cancer. So know your family history, open up the conversation. I know sometimes we can be uncomfortable asking about health stuff, but especially stuff like this, just ask your parents, your grandparents, any family member for any family history.
yes, do that.
That's right. Thanks so much, Sir Abby. Now, so what? So what is it like being part of the Morden Pink Walk? Because you walk,
I did.
right?
And you walk too.
I walked a little bit.
Yeah, so I mean, like, just to feel the people coming together to participate in this walk is, it's inspiring too. Before we walked, we there was a couple speeches from survivors, those who were diagnosed with breast cancer and are undergoing treatment or finished their treatment, and them just sharing their stories about how their support system helped them through it all. So just even if you don't know someone with breast cancer, just being here, walking with people, you are supporting those survivors or those who are going through the treatments.
I completely agree. And it's also very inspiring to see and to hear the stories of resilience and strength of the survivors. And I think it's a great inspiration for us to make sure that we also take care of our health. It's not something that what do you call this? It it doesn't really like warn you, or like, well, your body warns you or things like that. So it's definitely up to us to like heed the warning, or to even get tested or do your screenings. Make sure that you do your screenings even before you feel anything, right? Because that's part of our health and wellness, right? So I actually really liked the parade, the early parade where the breast cancer survivors marched, and they were holding up banners where it said how many years they've been cancer free. There were also several speeches from uh, some advocates, some who have survived breast cancer, and some that are undergoing treatments. Because again, with everyone that we heard, not easy, right? Because you have to, there's surgery, there's chemotherapy, and your body really like goes through a lot. So why do events like this matter then for breast cancer awareness and community support, Mr. Ab?
I think just being aware is like education. Like as long as people are aware that this can happen, they can be more apt to do those screenings or be on top of their health, that they won't ignore those warning signs. And also that you're not, you may feel like you're doing this alone, but you will have those supports, even if beyond your immediate family. Like just seeing all these people who are going through it, you think, okay, there are groups that I can turn to who can also, I can also relate to what I'm going through, and what to expect. Like I bet they're more than willing to answer your questions. Like, how does it feel to undergo surgery? How does it feel, or how do I navigate this? Because there's only so much your doctors or your providers can tell you. They are very technical in the medical aspect, but there's more to it than just the treatments. The emotional wealth and emotional support when going through any kind of health issues. I totally agree. So for those who weren't able to join today, right? For the listeners at home, what is one way that you can make a difference? Well, you tell us actually. What is one way you can make a difference, even if you can't attend the walk? That in our YouTube live chat, and then Brother Lance will ask you live if you're here.
Yes.
Yeah. Lance, you awake?
Yeah, I'm still awake.
Trying to multitask. I know.
So a little jet lag from Texas, but here we are.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we're all a little bit jet lagged. But we'll get to that later in our show. But like even if you're not part of the walk or you're far from any like walks like this, you can always volunteer. You can go on their website. Some people, there are volunteer opportunities in like hospitals or whatnot. I know some people make like hats or scarves to like give to cancer survivor patients. Also, you can also donate monetarily. There are fundraisers that you can contribute for the research of more treatment. Because even just in a couple of years, like I used to work with breast cancer treatments, like in the surgical aspect, but the amount of chemotherapies or treatments that are now available weren't there back in like what 10 years ago when I started in healthcare. So things are developing, things are always changing, and in order to get these treatments, it's always comes down to the monetary issue. So contributing to these fundraisers, contributing to these like programs and whatnot can help like make more therapies available and research and whatnot. Right. How about you, Brother Lance? What's one way you can make a difference, even
Yeah,
if you can't attend?
as already mentioned by Sister Abby, you can all the more help in the donation of the foundations that helps in the many kinds of research for these kinds of health checks. So if you can't attend certain walks like these, you can all the more help in the monetary that do help in the many research that goes into developing new kinds of ways to solve or to mediate breast cancer or any or help fund. I think there's also foundation that help fund their healthcare somewhat, right, Sister Abby? Kind of helps in terms of helping provide for those that needs extra help in their financial support, especially here in America where healthcare can be costly if you don't have insurance or if you don't have the right proper insurance. So is the signal a little weak there? Yes. So anyways, for listeners,
I think so, and we're kind of competing with there's music. I don't know if anyone can hear it, but
There's also loud cheering.
loud cheering because I think everyone has completed the walk at this time. But but yeah,
And it's also really bright out. I can barely open my eyes. So if you see me squinting like that, it's because I can't see.
it turned out to be a really beautiful day. Like it was a little chilly this morning. We were all bundled up, but now it's a really nice fall day in Boston.
yes, it's a nice activity. And for our listeners and viewers, as mentioned by Sister Abby, do get your physical check with your doctor, even if you don't want to. Sometimes little things sneak up on you, especially if you're starting to get in the older age or your age is starting to get in the upper numbers. You might think not visiting a doctor is okay for a few years or so, but you never know if there's something detrimental that is affecting your health, because sometimes it's the little things that can go a long way. And sometimes if you don't visit your doctor early enough, then it may be too late for that to be resolved. Where it can be resolved earlier with just maybe a health or a change in diet, but now you have to go into a more severe, I guess, taking medicines and stuff like that. So if you can avoid that as much as possible in your early age, and avoid having those kind of health difficulties in earlier in your age, then the better, so they can change your lifestyle earlier and have a better, a longer life, because you want to have a good health, especially in your older years, so that you can continue to perform your duties and able to help in the many various projects of the church. Is there anything else that you guys want to add in terms of the More Than the Pink Walk? Just read off some comments here. So we have a few comments in our YouTube live chat. Sister Wing Knight, Sister Jennifer Trinidad is saying local. Hi everyone from local congregation on Long Beach, Orange County. Sister Gemma, how you doing here in New York, here in Boston for the FYM Care for Humanity Pink Walk? So we have a few veterans that's participating there. And also, Sister Gemma said, did our 2.5 mile walk today, health and wellness for today, and Wyndham Cranston. There's Brother Dean Parado. Happy viewing, everyone. God bless. But we're here in Boston. Care for Humanity. Greetings from hashtag Rockland, hashtag New York, hashtag one with EBM, and hashtag INCRadio. And also, there's other brethren that is watching from the Philippines. So before we go to our next segment, what we doing? It is time to find out what's happening and what's about to happen in our district. But what you're doing first is to our Korea Tech. For next week, share your photos while on the walk, and you can send us to us at the link. What you're doing? Where's the link? The link is bit.ly/NYK. What you doing? Without the G. What you doing? What you doing? So please share your photos so that we can share it next week. Especially, I know there's a lot of veterans participating in the More Than the Pink Walk, so that we can see your lovely faces also, and we can see what's happening in that More Than Pink Walk. And I think it's in a nice scenery. It's along the coastal of the Atlantic Ocean, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll like to see more photos of that. That is the Atlantic Ocean for you. So if you've never been to the Atlantic
I
Ocean,
think it's the Boston Harbor.
the Boston
I think
Harbor.
it's the harbor before. Yeah,
Okay,
I think
never mind.
so.
But it is the
Water.
New England water is very cold right now, so don't attempt to swim unless you like the polar bear plunge that they do. So in our next segment, what we doing? What we doing? So Kuyatek, if we can play what's happening in our district. And last week, in our district of New York, not only in the district of New York, but throughout the district of all over the America, as earlier this week, choir members from across the country gathered in Dallas for the choir special gathering. So we will show some photos in the events. Let's take a look. those are all the photos in the choir special gathering in Dallas. Many brethren traveled throughout the whole America, and I believe there's some also choir directors that traveled from Europe and Canada and Micronesia, some of the down south Micronesia islands, the Guam, and
Yes. Brother Lance, how was your experience
yes,
at
it
the
was very
U.S.
nice.
Choir Special?
So for me, we traveled by plane. There was a few delays because we were having some storm in the northeast on the way there. So a lot of the planes got delayed. But for us, we were able to arrive there still quite on time on Saturday evening. I think around midnight is when we landed in Dallas, Texas, or I think it was 11 p.m. local time actually, since there's an hour difference. But it was very lovely, and the many practices. It was nice to be able to attend. It's different when you're singing in just in your local congregation when there's a few choir, but when there's thousands and thousands of choir members next to you, it's a lot more different. Because for me, the tenor is easier to sing when there's a bunch of tenors next to you. You can easily catch the notes. So it was very lovely to be able to be participating in that kind of activity. And I'm sure if for those who weren't able to attend, if you also see the practices of the CWS, even at an early age, they were practicing the descant for the doxology, and it was just nice to see how how professional they are even at a young age, and the way they sang the hymns it's just blessings on blessings on top of each other throughout the whole weekend. Even though we lack in sleep throughout the whole weekend, because we were waking up early in the morning, but we received many blessings throughout that weekend, and the many important messages coming from the church administration was also a timely reminder for us choir members. How about you guys? How was I know Sister Mika traveled by land, so uh, I wish we had the time. So I wanted to do that too, but we didn't have as much time as we can because it'll take us a few days. But I know Sister Mika traveled by land and visited at least not only one state but multiple states.
That's right. That's right. We did. We drove for at least 24 hours, not including stopovers, but it was definitely worth it. The U.S. Special Gathering was really spiritual. It was very inspiring. Um, and the great part is, we have the next one to look forward to. Right? What were your experiences, Sarah? Well, so I'm an organist. So before this choir special gathering, we all the organists, assistant choir directors, and choir directors had workshops. So we were able to like gain more skills on how to, teach the choir with how to sing the hymns and with a purpose. And I just saw so many brethren I haven't seen in like a long time, like people that I grew up with their that I grew up with in like the Boston area, New England area. And I'm like, oh, I haven't seen them in like years. And it was like a big choir mini reunion, I guess you could say, like family reunion on like choir members that you haven't seen forever. And also nice to you get to perform with like family members. Like two of my cousins are choir members in California, and you never get to perform with them except for like activities like this. So it was like just kind of inspiring. It's like surreal to like really think of how many choir members are within the country and even more so around the world. So hopefully we have a big enough venue to have like an international choir. Especially. Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I would totally be down for that. Why am I frozen? Oh,
No,
I
yeah, it would be nice.
sorry. Leonard.
Yeah, it's okay. Uh, it's definitely nice. So for those who are unable to attend, maybe in the next not INCRadio, the choir special gathering. If there is a next one that is as big as this in Texas, please do attend because it is quite an experience and it's an unforgettable experience because not only do you get to perform with your family and friends, but you also able to see everyone who are in the choir members, not only here in America, but if there's ever an opportunity again that includes the many other districts and the many other countries, and all the more attend because it is very inspiring to hear all the choir members singing all at one time. And it's quite a different and it's quite a surreal experience to be in attendance for. And I think that's pretty much for our show today, right? Is there anything else that we forgot? No? Okay.
Bill, do we have any more greetings that we can read out?
Let me see if we there's a bunch more. So, I think Brother Gab Barrientos, greetings from INC Radio New York, tuning in from INC Radio, Orange County, California, and the local of Anaheim, setting up for our upcoming broadcast. Brother Franco Bersalis, good day, everyone. Greetings from Belmore and Bermuda. Have a great Saturday. And our brother Sheridan Santos, we are here in Boston for more than a think walk, fight against breast cancer. Sister Diane, a lot of us know one of our friends or family member that has gone through breast cancer. So I think it's also important to share stories or just talk with one another about it to raise awareness. But Pastor Palacios, shout out to my wife and son, Cadahelia Palacios, and Liam Palacios, who are here in More Than the Pink Walk. So there is a lot of brethren participating in the More Than the Pink Walk. There's a few more. Trying to go through it. I think that's pretty much it. And one more. I think it's Brother Mario Oka. Good evening here in the Philippines. Enjoying watching here on IC Radio New York Satellite Studio. Greetings from the local of Brixtondale, District of Caloocan North. So that's pretty much it for our greetings and shout outs. So for next week, please don't forget to make sure that you do greetings. So, well, hopefully I finish this trophy by next week so we can ship it to the local congregation that's winning. And that's pretty much it for our show. I will wrap it up. This is all for our show today. Thank you again for tuning in. Thank you for so much for the church administration for giving us a platform to share and speak about important and interesting topics like these. And greetings to our beloved Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo B. Manalo, and our current Deputy Executive Minister, Brother Angelo Eranio Manalo, and also greetings to our IC Radio Station Manager, Brother Wally Tarai, and also to Executive Producer Kuya Manny Andaya. We would also like to greet the District Minister, Brother Sheridan Santos, our Assistant District Minister, Brother Neil Patrick Omeda, and our CFO Advisor, Brother Jason Flores. And again, the peace that matters for hope, for care, and for each other. Next week, we will be talking about posture. Posture. My posture has been thrown out of the garbage. So we'll see how to improve your postures next week. So make sure to catch us next week again at Saturday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, or Saturday at 11:30 p.m. Philippine time, right here on How You Doing. I think it's supposed to be Saturday, but anyways, catch us next week again. How you doing? Bye, everyone. Enjoy your weekend.
Bye.
Enjoy this lovely stint of warm weather before we go into full cold.
Oh, Lance.